Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today it's time to do a DIY Dollar Tree monogrammed autumn decor. I'm in love with this thing. We're going to use one of these leaves from the Dollar Tree, but you could use the acorn if you want to, or really you can buy any shape that you want for any holiday really. And we're going to use some Sharpies, or actually I'm going to use this red fake Sharpie from the Dollar Tree. It's really nice and big, but you want a permanent marker that works with alcohol basically. And then I'm going to use one of these little leaves to create the monogram tag, but again, whatever shape desire. I'm going to use this leaf ribbon from the Dollar General, as well as this white burlap, just a couple of pieces to make a bow. We'll use some jute also to tie up some stuff, but we're also going to use alcohol swabs. Now I prefer alcohol swabs. A, they're easily on hand, but B, it also helps to smear, not just to put alcohol on, but to smear. And I ended up using about 5 or 6 of them all together. So what I'm doing here is I've opened an alcohol swab and I'm squeezing out the excess alcohol, and I'm dripping it from the corner, the tip of the leaf section, and then I rubbed it down. And then we're going to take the marker and we're going to go over that, and then we're going to go back over it with alcohol swabs, and we're just going to create this blended technique. There is I guess a DIY that's been around for a really long time of doing alcohol and, basically coloring sneakers or shirts in with Sharpie and then blending them with alcohol to create a watercolor look. So I thought, how would this work on a wooden leaf? Because it's porous too. So I love the way it turned out. So I'm doing layers, as you can see. So I've done a fine layer and I've blended it in to make it like a really pale, and then I've gone a little bit smaller of a section to do a little bit of a medium tone, and then I've blended it in, and then I've done a really, really dark section. But you can basically make whatever colors you want. This doesn't have to be red. I just picked red leaf. If you know me and Jim, that's our favorite color. It blends with our house. But this would look great in yellow, orange, or even green. Brown would be wonderful as well, or a multitude of colors would be good too. If you blend it in from maybe yellow to orange, would be really nice as well. So what I decided to do was to do the sections, and I wanted it to be darkest at the stem and then lighter as it got towards the top, but you do whatever works for you. Like I said, you really can personalize this and customize this. Of course, there are lots of other ways to stain wood, and there are lots of other ways to get this technique, but I really have not found any as easy or inexpensive, to be honest with you. Not everybody has the you guys, some of you all tell me that you don't have as easy of a time blending colors in paint and stuff. So I thought that this is super easy. What you definitely want to start with, putting a base of alcohol down in the wood before you start with your marker, and then you can build on it, because what that does is it creates subtleties and layers. The other trick I want to tell you is you want to do it right away if you want it pale. Okay, so what I mean by that is you're going to put your alcohol down, then you're going to rub it with your marker, and you see how I'm rubbing it, but now I'm going really quickly back over it to blend it in. And do you see how it was darker at the very, very tip? Because I let that dry the most. So if you let the marker dry on the wood, it'll be harder to blend and it'll become darker still. So if that's the look you're going after, definitely. And I'll show you in a second when we're going to flip this over. I actually tested it on the back with a couple of different colors, and that's why I really picked the red. And I really got the technique down, which is really good. Usually I just try something right on the camera for you guys, but this one I actually tested first. And then I wanted the stem to be almost solid red, so I basically went in, colored in the entire stem, and then just blended the ends in with the Sharpie as well. Now the reason I wanted to do this instead of any kind of other paint is because this will be more permanent. If you give it a light coat of outdoor spray, that'll help. It could be like an totally uncovered porch sort of decor, but the way it is now is if you got it wet, it wouldn't even bleed. So that's why I really liked it. Now we're going to take this small leaf, and this is where we're going to add our monogram. I actually was thinking about hanging like a letter, a wooden letter that I had gotten from like Walmart, but then I was like, make it easy, make it Dollar Tree, keep it Dollar Tree. So I'm going to use these Dollar Tree poster stickers, but if you can't find these ones, I will show you how to create a red H using the other Dollar Tree poster stickers. So for the one side, I just put the H right on there, and for the other one, I actually cut out the outside of the sticker, so that I had already used the H sticker, and I cut out the outside to kind of create a stencil. Now I will tell you, I knew that the marker was going to bleed. I just didn't know how much it was going to bleed, so this was the experimental part. But if you want to do this technique where you actually color in and use this H for stencil, I would recommend just getting out your craft paint and using that to fill in the stencil instead of the marker. But the fact that I knew it was going to bleed, I was prepared for it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to outline it with the black Sharpie, which won't bleed quite as much, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. Okay, so I just fill in everywhere. I did put a little bit too much. If you're heavy-handed with the Okay, let's put it this way. If you want the marker to bleed, be more heavy-handed with the marker. Leave it sitting still, add extra layers to it, kind of thing. And then the more ink you put into the wood, the more it will bleed. So what I did here was I went over it with a black Sharpie, but I actually wrote on the red as opposed to writing next to the red or going over just where it was bleeding. I actually just wrote on the red, and that's what made the difference. So now we're going to take a piece of jute, and this is just the way I decided to do it. Actually, I'm going to hang this on an angle. So what I'm doing is there is a hole that came in the piece of wood first. So I'm just taking a small screwdriver. This is a Phillips head screwdriver, and I'm using it like a drill just to create a second hole because I want it, like I said, to basically hang on a little angle. And now I'm going to take a pretty long piece of jute. It's probably about 5 feet long, just to be safe. Folded it in half. And I wanted to make this almost so I could reverse it, but what I've decided to do is to put the bended half through the hole, and then through the back I'm going to pull all the rest of the strings through that loop, and I'm kind of going to create like a little Y connector at the top. And then what I did was I laid it exactly where I wanted it to be, just about where I wanted it to hang. I fed the strings through to adjust it. And then I grabbed my fingers, I pulled the string back out, and I knew exactly where I wanted to tie a knot. And this is a double knot. Basically, you create a loop just like you were tying your shoes. You put the string through it twice. So you put the string through it, go around, and put the string through it again. And that just creates a little bit bigger of a knot. And then I went ahead and I fed the string back through. And this is going to keep the little leaf hanging in the middle and not, instead of being pulled all the way up. As well. So I repeated that on the other side, took the top, tied the two strings together, and then created one of my little nooses there. Just as, basically you measure how far you want it to hang, what looks good to you. And now I thought I would add a bow. This is where it becomes not Dollar Tree, but Dollar General. But Dollar Tree does have nice bows. I just really loved these two that I just picked up at Dollar General for $2 each, and I wanted to use them for this project. Just because they're colors and everything. One of them is a white burlap, which I was madly in love with, and the other one is sort of a linen type burlap with leaf prints on it. And of course they were different leaves, which actually made it even look, more autumn to me. So I'm just going to make a two loop bow, which if you watch the bow tutorial, it basically means it has 4 loops, but it has two separate layers is really what it is. And we're going to put the printed bow, the printed ribbon on top, lay over the 2 separate loops, and then use the printed tail to basically create the knot in the middle and the tails. And then we're going to use the dovetail method, basically fold it in half and cut dovetails in the ends of the bow and just fluff it out. And here's where I turned the bow over. I just tucked down any little remaining things, and I glued the little hanger right onto the back of the knot of the bow, just so I could use it as a hanger, let it cool off, and then that's it. I really do love the way it came out. It was so easy, and simple. The whole project took just less than a half an hour, including all the coloring and everything. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this tutorial. If you do, give this video a thumbs up. If you have any questions at all, leave them in the comments down below. Don't forget to share this video with friends and family. Anybody who might be interested in learning this technique with the Sharpies and alcohol. And if you haven't yet, click subscribe, and when you do, a little bell will pop up. When you ring that bell, YouTube will let you know when I upload a new video. Isn't that look really cool? Yeah, I agree. As always, you guys take care. God bless. And we'll see you next time. Bye.